Yellow. And we're back. And today we'll be covering the upcoming Tier 9 Royal Navy Destroyer campaign, the HMS Somme. Now, the Somme will be completed as a battle class destroyer. It's the same class as the Tier 9 Jutland, so pretty much the same there. Now, however, due to lack of materials plagued the construction of the Somme, and ultimately the Somme was not needed and was broken up on the slipway after the end of the war. Now, the Somme and her perma camo is in the final reward for collecting all 60 pieces of the of the Battle of Somme Collection. And on average, just take about 84 containers to complete the collection, and any duplicate pieces can be exchanged at a 2-to-1 ratio. Coincidentally, 84 containers will be available for free through a weekly mission, so diligent players can obtain the Somme for free, which is awesome. And others can complete the collection through buying containers in the armory and premium ship for real money. But you can get the ship for free by just obtaining containers, so I highly recommend you do it that way. But if you do want to buy the ship, you're more than welcome to do that as well. Now, as always, the captain, I'm going to be showing my captain build, followed by the ship stats and my opinions of the ship overall. Now, the captain build will be shown on the top right. Now, I do have two builds for the ship. Now, the equipment is going to be the same, but the first build is going to be more of a DPM build. And while the second build is going to be the skill build for RPF. Now, I'm always a big fan of RPF on my DDs, especially hybrids or gunboat DDs or even the torpedo DDs, due to having to hunt down submarines or trying to figure out where the enemy DD is. Now, if you're not a big fan of RPF, you can definitely take the other build instead, but it's definitely more of a which one would you prefer kind of thing. Like, if you prefer RPF, take the RPF build, and if you prefer the more DPM build, you can take that build instead. Now, I am moving on. So, in fact, the Somme is a premium clone of the Jutland with identical stats. So, pretty much if you're looking for a premium Jutland, this is the ship for you. You can pretty much run the exact same build as on the Jutland or Daring, so you can easily just switch the captain over between the Daring or the Jutland if you want, when you do get this ship. The ship has a concealment of 5.7 kilometers. She can easily outspot anything that's not a Japanese torpedo DD, which is super useful. Now, the thing is, though, she is fairly slow at 34 knots, but has the improved acceleration, which partially compensates for this. While also, as well, the ship does have amazing maneuverability with the rudder shift time, which is awesome. So, as you all know, the British DDs are some of the most maneuverable with their really tight turning circles and rudder shift times. So they do a really good job of maneuvering that way. Now, due to the slower speed of the ship, though, you do have to be careful as you'll struggle to escape radar traps. Now, the heals are definitely nice, but it doesn't make her tanky by any means, so you definitely want to use smokes and the dodging ability to be your primary method of avoiding damage. Now, the long duration hydro is amazing for both dodging torpedoes and for team support, and also useful for hunting down submarines as well, which, as we'll be doing later in this match, you'll be seeing. Now, the Somme's guns are decent, but lacks HE firepower, and the dispersion will be shown on the top right, so you guys can take a look at that as I keep going on. Now, the Somme does make up for the lack of HE firepower for having the improved British AP pen angles and the low arming threshold of the British DDs. So British DDs will quickly go down due to her AP rounds, which just do an insane amount of damage. The Jutland does the same thing. Daring's the same thing. That's usually why whenever I recommend beginner DD lines to players, normally I recommend the Daring line. It's a really good mix of like a good hybrid line with decent torpedoes, good guns, good maneuverability, quick smokes. It's kind of like a good trainer line to say, hey, I want to be more of a gunboat. Hey, I want to be more of a torpedo boat kind of DD player, you know? So it's kind of a good way to throw them each way. Now, you do get 10-kilometer single-fire torpedoes, which are great for Congo lining predictable ships, but they do suffer from a slow reload So definitely does hold them back from making this ship and the Jutland a great torpedo boat. It's more of like an average of good. As usual, the British DDs lack any sort of meaningful anti-air, and CVs will be the bane of your existence. So definitely learn to just dodge, per se. Now, thankfully, the underwater threats are less of an issue thanks to your powerful depth charges and hydro. The enhanced acceleration usually throws off subs when shotgunning, allowing you to T-pose on them with your nuclear depth charges, which is awesome. One thing that's also useful about this ship being so maneuverable, that with the current testing of the minefields going on in World of Warships, the depth charges are able to clear out mines very effectively. So it's super cool for that, being able to use the depth charges for that. Now, overall, I'd say the Somme has the exact same performance as a Jutland, which is about average to good. They are still capable ships, but the numerous nerfs over the years on the Jutland has definitely taken their toll. Contesting caps and finding other DDs is your best strategy. Also, messing with submarines is also fun as well. The Somme can bully other DDs with either guns or its superior concealment, while her Hydra ensures she does not eat any torpedoes in turn. Now, aside of caps, Somme can continue to apply spotting pressure or torpedo the occasional island-hugging cruiser, which is always fun to do. Now, if someone else is spotting, she can also contribute some damage while being in her quick smokes, though not as much as a proper gunboat. Now, again, you are able to get the Somme ship through the Battle of the Somme campaign, which will be coming up in a few days. So if you guys are interested in getting it, you can get it for free. It does take 60 pieces to complete the collection, and you can earn up to 84 containers for free through the weekly missions. So if you want to grind the ship for free, definitely watch out for those missions to come up, and you can get all those containers through there and be able to get the ship for free. It is definitely really cool of them to add in another ship collection. We haven't had a ship collection in a very long time, so this is definitely a really cool thing for newer players or even veteran players to get on the action and have fun with this campaign to get a ship for free. And a lot of people I found enjoy the Jutland, so having a ship that people already are familiar with and be able to make a premium of it is really nice. And the Battle of Somme was definitely a very historical battle as well, so at least we forget the on the side of the camo is definitely a very nice historical touch to the battle as well. So very nice to do that as well for that ship. But again, if you guys are a fan of the Daring line, I'd highly recommend you get this ship. It's definitely a lot of fun. I really enjoyed playing this ship. I pretty much just played as more of a island, like a cap controlling ship. I really didn't venture too far wide with it. Now, in this particular match, I did try to hunt the submarine. That's why I kept on. You see me chasing the St. Vincent. I wasn't chasing the St. Vincent. I was trying to hunt the submarine. I was trying to make sure that submarine was not able to just turn around and go after those battleships. Because you saw there, I have a lot of battleships behind me, and I do not want that U-25 to just have free reign on them. So I made sure I put pressure on him pretty much this whole match. Now, is it the most fun job? No, it's not the most fun job ever. But in the end, if I'm putting pressure on that submarine, he's not going to be able to just do free damage on those battleships and just hammer them over and over and over again. And see, every time he goes up to the surface, I'm like right there with my hydro. I'm doing my best not to shoot at him, because if I do, the St. Vincent is just going to wall up on me. I did get super lucky in this next encounter. I was able to wipe out the Cossack pretty quickly, and the St. Vincent doesn't do a lot of damage to me. I don't think he does any damage to me. I really don't remember. No, he doesn't. The St. Vincent actually doesn't. If the St. Vincent did shoot at me, that would have been such a pain. But luckily, the engagement was so short, the St. Vincent didn't have enough time, excuse me, to shoot at me. So I was very grateful for my teammates there. Because as you can kind of see, all the battleships since they saw, oh yeah, this dude over here is just pushing away the sub. They just had free reign. After that DD died, and I just kept putting pressure on the sub. Oh man, it was so nice. But this is where I really like. This is where having RPF shines on a DD. It makes it where you're able to just hard put pressure on a submarine, keep him below like the 30 and 60 meter depth where he's slower. He's not as maneuverable, and it's harder for him to get torps off on the rear. Now, of course, submarines like the British submarines or the American submarines have the rear far range torpedoes, the tier 10s, but the U-25 doesn't. So this whole match, he was just running away and pretty much was not able to do much at all, which was just fantastic, and it was awesome that to keep him out of the battle. Now with him out of the battle, it pretty much made it just free reign, as you can see from the pretty much like all the battleships did a wide sweep around A and kind of push the St. Vincent off the map, as well as kind of putting pressure on everyone else as well, getting that nice map control. And once we got that map control, it was just over at that point. It was just more of a cleanup crew at that point. It was super nice. Now, unfortunately, my hydro did end, like right when it was there, but he surfaced trying to get me. He had a little bit of battery left, but he surfaced trying to make it where the St. Vincent and Harry would shoot at me, which they did a little bit, but they weren't able to finish me off in time before he went down. And with that kill right there, my mission of, putting pressure on the submarine was over. That's pretty much a win. So it was a clear win right there. But yeah, the Henry goes down there. Very nice, very nice. One thing that I do like about the Somme, it does have the turrets. I like the turret design on it, and I think they look really cool. If you guys have any comments about the way the Somme looks, definitely let me know. I do like the design very much. It also has the 360 turrets of the Daring, which is very, very nice as well. I do love the 360 turrets. So all three turrets can do 360, so it means that if you're being very maneuvering or doing a lot of dodging or wiggling, you can always have all three of your turrets always consistently shooting, which is very, very, very important if you're trying to support your team and fighting other DDs and trying to stay alive. It's very, very important to always have your guns in the fight. That's usually one of the reasons why I don't recommend the Yamato as much nowadays, is because of the fact the Yamato in particular suffers from very slow, very, 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 very slow turrets traverse. And it's very hard to maneuver. You usually always have to be on a flank and have your guns pointed one way, because if you have to turn your ship to the other side at all, you are absolutely screwed in a Yamato. It takes like almost a minute and something to turn your guns all around. It is so slow. Oh boy, it is a disaster. But anyway, this is pretty much the end of the match here. So it was pretty much a clear-cut win once we started clearing out the left side. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys watching the video. If you guys have any questions or concerns, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, thank you guys again for watching. You guys have any questions of the collection or anything, just let me know. Thank you guys again for watching. Thank you all for being here, and I will talk to y'all later. All right, bye. Deuces. Blech!